Good morning to all. Tamil Nadu Open University School of Education B.Ed first year program Social and Environmental Science Part 1 B.Ed 04B Gender Issues in Education. This is the today topic we are going to discuss. Now the PPT lesson discuss the gender issues in education. Let us start the unit. The unit is 5.1 Gender, Sexuality, Sexual Harassment and Sexual Abuse. The course objective is, after studying this course as a student teacher, you are going to be able to discuss various issues of discrimination in education system, narrate social reforms, programs, schemes for gender equality, describe various theories and related to gender issues, analyze various gender issues and in curriculum, and last one, you are able to enumerate gender abuse, sexual harassment in all education institutions. Next, the course outcome. After the completion of this course, as a student teacher, you will be able to manage the classroom without any social and gender discrimination. Design curricular activities based upon social reforms to avoid discrimination. Apply the outcomes of various theories on gender issues. Maintain curricular transaction free from gender issues. At last, you are able to take action to curb the gender meanings and sexual harassment in education institution, in society, wherever it may occur. Next, the PPT lesson discuss the introduction, objective, we have already discussed it. Gender, sexuality, meaning, related terms and definition, gender and sexuality, sexual harassment at workplace. Under this caption, meaning of sexual harassment in the workplace, guidance to prevent sexual harassment, steps to prevent sexual harassment, appropriate action. Next heading, child abuse. Child abuse, verbalization, sign, understanding child abuse and sexual harassment. After learning this unit, particular unit, you are going to understand the concept of gender and sexuality, and you are going to explore the issues related to sexual harassment at workplace as well as education institutions as well as in the society, able to recognize the institution which are addressing sexual harassment and abuse. Now we shall discuss the what is the meaning of sex, gender, gender role. Now first one, sex. Sex refers to biological difference, chromosomes, hormonal profile, internal and external sexual signs. Gender describes, next, gender. Gender describes the character that a society or culture delineates the as masculine or female. So, while your sex as male or female is a biological fact that is the same in any culture, what that sex means in the terms of your sexual role as a man or woman in the society can be quite different across culture. Next, the meaning of gender role. Gender role refers to the characters and behaviors that a different culture attribute to the sexes. It means a real man in the any culture requires male plus male sex plus whatever various culture defines as masculine character or behavior. Likewise, real women needs female sexual and feminine characteristics. Next, the terms and conditions, the terms and definitions. First one, the gender. It's a noun form. The condition is being male, comma female, or transgender. Next, sex. Sex usually refers to the biological aspect of maleness, femaleness, whereas gender implies psychological, behavioral, social, and cultural aspects of being male or female. Next, gender refers to the attributes, feeling, and behavior that a given culture associate with personal person's biological sex. Next one, gender concept. It is an understanding of socially constructed distinction between male and female based on biological sex, but also including the role of male and female in a culture. Next, gender dysphoria. It means discomfort or distress related to incongruence between persons' gender identity, gender assigned at birth. Next heading, gender expression. The presentation of an individual, including physical appearance, clothing, choice, and accessories, and behavior that express the aspects of gender identity or gender role. Next, gender identity. It means one's sense of oneness as a male, female, or transgender. Next, sexual orientation. Sexual orientation means the sex of those to whom one is sexually and romantically attracted. Sexual orientation refers to the sex of these to whom one is sexually and romantically attracted. Next, sex role, the behavior and attitudinal pattern characteristically associated with being male or female as defined in his or her society. The last one, transgender. Transgender, it is an adjective that is an umbrella term. It is usually used to describe the full range of people whose gender identity or gender role does not conform to what is typically associated with this. Next, in the today we are living in IT world, so we are facing so many problems by the growth of information technology, social media growth. By this effect, we are facing the sexual harassment in wherever, on all institutions, all workplaces, we are facing all problems. Now, the meaning of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is an harassment. It's a subtle way which may include sexual inappropriate sexual gesture and proportion for dates or sexual favors. In more forms, such harassment may include leering, pinching, grabbing, hugging, patting, brushing against and touching any part. Next, sexual harassment become even more serious when the granting of sexual favor is made a term of condition of the individual employment. When it interferes with the individual's work performance or study performance, and it creates intimidating or hostile work environment or study environment. The definition is, the meaning and definition is given for workplace. It also applicable for all education institutions from the primary to higher education level. The offensive conduct could be exhibited by a superior, a colleague or subordinate or a client. Likewise, in education institution, the sexual harassed person may be a student or a teaching colleague or non-teaching staff, may be a parent. Mostly, the sexual harassed category is in all types of people who are associated with the education institution as well as associated with the work environment. Next, we, we shall discuss the sexual harassment in workplace. Once again, I repeat, workplace is equal to education institution. So, in any area where employee or student or teacher is required to represent, carry out, perform, implement any duty, obligations or service required, workplace by boss, manager, employee, client or customer of a working unit that is unwelcome by the person receiving it and has caused by the person who feel violated, insulted and being in the unbearable hostile environment. For an employer who get workplace violence restraining order on behalf of an employee, there shall be a need to reasonable proof that the employee has suffered unlawful violence. The unlawful violence means threat of violence can be reasonably constructed to be carried out at the workplace. The conduct is not allowable as part of legitimate labor dispute. The person accused is not engaged in constitutionally law protected. Next, the Indian Supreme Court, Vikasa ruling 1997, not only confirmly grounded the argument that each incident of sexual harassment of women at workplace was a human right violation. Additionally, it laid the foundation and paved the way for legislation on sexual harassment at workplace in India. Next, the violation of human rights of women. ILO Committee on Sexual Equality in the year of 2009 recorded that apart from any other problems that the women face at their workplace, they were also subject to widespread sexual harassment, often excluded from protection and benefits, and faces multiple forms of discrimination such as race, age, among them. In India, most of the women are facing the problems as community and their locality. The women or girls are discriminated in the name of their community, in the name of their locality. It is most prevalent in the workplace or in all education institutions. Next, the sexual harassment is connected with the disadvantaged status of women at work and subordinate position in society. Women are sexually harassed, which involves sexual coercion, intimidation, deprivation of their rights to work in violation, free atmosphere, hostile work environment that affect their safety, well-being, and also their health. Therefore, we conclude that sexual harassment of women is based on gender. It has grave outcome of the development of women. Next, guidelines to prevent sexual harassment. Now we all know the sexual harassment is prevailing in all walks of life. So we shall discuss about the guidelines to prevent the sexual harassment. Sexual harassment results in the violation of the fundamental rights to gender equality and the rights to life and liberty. Besides, the rights under Article 15 of our Constitution. Keeping these rights in mind, the Supreme Court has passed 12 guidelines that have the force of law. The guidelines, the important guidelines, we shall discuss in the following points. It shall be the duty of employer or responsible person to prevent the commission of act of sexual harassment. The employer should initiate the action in accordance with the law by making a complaint with the appropriate authority. The complaint mechanism should ensure time-bound treatment of complaints. The committee must submit an annual report to the government. Employee must allow to raise the issue of sexual harassment at various form at any time to to their convenience. The guidelines also provide the initiation of criminal proceedings, whereas sexual harassment is proved beyond doubt. Next slide. What are the steps to prevent sexual harassment? Let us discuss one by one. First point is don't blame yourself. Many sexual harassment victims blame themselves for engaging the harasser's behavior. By blaming yourself, that the learner, the harasser the right to continue such action. Harassers are usually aware that other offended by their action but will continue if they feel they get away with this. Next, second point, say no clearly and firmly. If you feel uncomfortable with your coworker or co-learner or your colleague, address the concern immediately. Don't ignore it. So say no clearly and confirmly to make a harasser to stop their sexual harassment. If a verbal no proves inadequate, provide a written complaint that is no to refuse. Third point, be reasonable about how other will react. Don't be disappointed with the person you usually count on support. Nothing will happen. It was a joke. It was a big deal. The boss think highly of you and so on. Don't be mad when you hear statement like, yeah, as and when somebody say like this, it is a just joke. It is a fun. Don't believe the words. They are honey-coated words to escape from the sex harassment. Don't believe them. Fourth point, give your credit. Harassers count on your being afraid, so you cannot move forward. Many women who do come forward to report sex harassment agree for all difficulties, they are glad they spoke out. Bravely exercise your right, endeavor by law, and also and educate and motivate others to ensure their sexual rights. Next slide. Make fulfill use of internal grievance system to file complaint. If there is no organization individual, you should complain to the trade union or the authority of the education system. Second, next, complain to social organization. That is women committee, women cell or women association, union or whatever it may be. Or sometime non-government organization also support for legal actions and legal assistance. Then next, report to the police. If sexual harassment constitutes a crime such as compulsory incidents, indecency of women, rape or willful and malicious injury, you should report to the local police station in a time. It is very important. Reporting to local police station in a timely manner, it is very important. So it is useful to investigate criminal responsibility in accordance with the law. File a lawsuit. If a company top management covers all even convenient by the harasser, you can file a lawsuit to the courts. Nowadays, free legal aids are available in all district courts as well as High Court as well as Supreme Court. A woman or girl easily contact them by phone, WhatsApp or email and complain the case against the harasser. Last one, address the issue through mediation. Mediation hosted by judge, internal or social organization will produce a better effect as it will bring less pressure to the parties involved in their family. Next slide. Appropriate action. What are all the appropriate action you are going to teach, you are going to guide, you are going to motivate your learner or co-worker or your colleague, whoever may be affected by sexual harassment, are supposed to be afraid to complain. Find a way to speak out. First one, Never underestimate the value of your own story. Tell your story to someone who will understand, your friend or sister, your mother or somebody else. So they will decide to file a complaint against them. Document every incident. The evidence is detailed. Keep with the date, time, location, description, all these details. Document your job performance and carefully avoid a violation of law regulation. They may forgive evidence for incompetent work. This includes evaluation, certificate, or verbal praise. Next, child abuse. Child abuse means child abuse may inappropriate touching, vagination, anal or oral penetration, sexual intercourse that you say no to them, rape, attempt rape, child molestation. Sexual assault can be verbal, visual, or anything that force a person to join unwanted sexual contact. Next, women who are sexually abused may suffer serious health issues such as sexually transmitted diseases, stomach problem, and ongoing pain. They are also at the risk of emotional problem like depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Next, what are all the signs of signals of sexual abuse? First, we should aware of the signals of sexual abuse. That is self-injury, inadequate personal hygiene, drug and alcohol abuse, sexual proximity, running away from home, depression and anxiety, suicide attempt, fear of intimacy or closeness. Next slide. Understanding the sexual abuse and harassment, it is the outcome of the PPT lesson. When someone is being abused or harassed, he or she needs to decide best way to get legal protection from the abuse. Several things need to be looked out. What type of relationship that are being, whoever may be, kindly I suggest to report them. There are four types of sexual harassment as mentioned in the civil code. Number one is domestic violence, elder or dependent abuse, civil harassment, and workplace harassment. We all know about the four types of sexual abuse or sexual harassment. Okay, then the hostile working environment means these are all the factors which involve in the hostile, the peaceful working environment. There are 6 or 7 factors involved. The workplace benefit gives the harassers exchange of sexual harassment. The hostile harassment means is unwanted by the harassee based on harassee gender creates. In the year 2013, BOS Sexual Harassment for Women Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act amendmented, that is BOS Act. The Act hold several measures to organization, gives awareness to all employees in the country. Next, first, legal mandatory to conduct BOS training in all workplaces, and the organization does not conduct the training, they are penalized for rupees 50,000 for the first time, then next the legal action will be taken. So all the work or workplace or company or MNC, they should conduct the BOS training. Moreover, the employee should be aware of their colleagues. They are, suppose if they subjected to sexual harassment, they were, as a friend, as a colleague, you have to support and you have to motivate them to complain against them. Next, what are the benefits of BOS Act? The common training is based on awareness and legal action. What all the trainings covered? It covers the entire workforce. The internal committee in the company or education institution is formed and ready to serve for creating awareness and for and inquire about the complaints in the institution or the workplace. In few universities are conducting the BOS foundation courses at free of cost. Tamil Nadu Open Universities was conducted prevention of sexual harassment course, sexual harassment free online training program for 11 college under 11 arts and science colleges. Under this scheme, it is sponsored by Rajiv Gandhi Institute of National Youth Development. Under 11 colleges, 900 students are benefited. By this way, the BOS Act is mandatory for education institution or institution. The outcome of the BOS training by the TNOU, all the internal committee formed in the all 11 colleges. It it created steps to file a complaint and create awareness in the colleges, and the legal cells include the lawyer in the local area. So we all discuss about the sexual harassment and gender, all this. Now I request all the learners, once again I thank you to all learners. If any doubt or clarification, kindly contact me. The phone number and mail ID is given in the timetable. Once again I thank you all. Thank you.